Today we're doing another Marvel deck tech, and well, arguably he should have been the first one. Let's look at Captain America, the First Avenger. So kicking things off with the man himself, it's Captain America, the First Avenger. So red, white and blue, so 3 mana. Is a 4/4 legendary creature human soldier hero. And it has 2 abilities. First one is throw, ... 3 mana, unattach an equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to the equipment's mana value divided as you choose among 1, 2 or 3 targets. Then we have ... catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. Pretty straightforward. Attach things to him for free at the beginning of combat, and then spend your mana to throw that equipment around your opponents or their creatures in order to clear the way for him to be able to do more and more damage. So yeah, this is quite clearly a Voltron commander, so let's start building this up with some decent equipment and throwing it at our opponents. Right, so let's kick things off with the creatures. As you'll see in this deck, I have made sure to have as many ways as possible to equip our equipment for free, also reduce the cost of that equipment so we can spend as much mana as possible on Captain's ability to unattach that stuff and throw it around the battlefield. Remember, if we can spend 3 mana, unequip something and throw it and then re-equip it for free, we can do that as many times as we have mana. And if we can start to re-equip at instant speed, we can start to do that on our opponent's turn, turning all of our equipments into actual instant speed removal. So here we go. Therian Sculptor makes all of our artifacts cost 1 less. Leonin Shikari, it lets us equip at instant speed. Pure Steel Paladin allows us to draw cards as well as equip for free. SRAM lets us draw cards. Reality Chip gives us some decent card advantage. Arden allows us to equip everything for free at the beginning of combat. Brass Squire equip for free. Codsworth also helps us with the equip costs. Same with Dalakos. Dalakos also gives our equipped creatures flying and haste, which adds more keywords to Captain America, which is just more and more advantage for us. Danather reduces those equip costs as well as being a decent body should Captain America have been killed 2 or 3 times and we can't afford to cast him again. Foundry Inspector reduces the cost of all of our artifacts. Obviously we're running 31, so this is a big help. Kellen the Fey-Blooded is actually a solid body as well for equipment to go onto, as well as being a tutor effect. Starnhelm Corsair just reduce the cost of everything. Once again, flying body, also not a bad equipper. You know, Bruno pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost. Absolutely fantastic. He also buffs our equipped creatures. We've got the Leonin here as well. Artifacts you control can't be the target spells or abilities of your opponent's control. So yeah, just give everything hexproof. And then we've got Silent Arbiter. Now this is in here purely because we are relying mainly on Captain America. We're only running 16 creatures plus our commander, yeah? So if our opponents go wide against us, we are going to struggle. We've got Silent Arbiter on the battlefield. Sweet, sorted. That nullifies the advantage that they have against us and puts us in an even stronger position. Okay, let's look at the sorceries. We've got Steel Shaper's Gift and Open the Armory as our tutor effects to go and get whatever equipment we need to deal with whatever's happening at that moment. Yeah, if we need to go and find ramp to colour fixes, if we need to go and get protection because we're going to become a target, you know, whatever we need. If we need lifelink because our life's getting low, we can use these tutors to go get what we need at that point, yeah? Then we've got a bunch of removal spells in the terms of board wipes. So, Divine Reckoning. Each player chooses a creature they control, destroy the rest. We only want Captain. Once Captain's on the battlefield and got equipped on him, we don't care about anything else, unless we're obviously using Pure Steel Paladin, SRAM, etc. for card advantage. Yeah, but we're happy to sacrifice those if it deletes all of our opponent's boards. Same with Single Combat, and same with Slash the Ranks. There's a good chance once you've got Captain on the board and a bunch of equipment, he's going to be stronger than most of your opponent's commanders. Next up we have the instant speed removal. So we've got Path and Swords, classic white removal spells to exile targets. Yeah, we've got a Braid, which is just this solid red spell for removing artifacts. Yeah, we can also use this to deal 3 damage to a target creature. So if our our shield doesn't do enough damage to them, we can then use this to help pick off the bigger threats. We've got Resculpt, once again, an exile effect for artifacts or creatures. It turns it into a 4/4, but that doesn't matter because we have a load of equipment which can just delete that. Yeah, we've got Untimely Malfunction. This is an uncommon from Dustborn, and I only see the value of this going up. Yeah, destroys an artifact, change the targets of a spell, yeah, and 1 or 2 creatures can't block this turn. Yeah, lets your creatures get through to damage, helps protect your creatures, and destroys that big artifact threat on the battlefield. Yeah, I'm also running Generous Gift and Stroke of Midnight because they can just hit any non-land permanent or any permanent in Generous Gift's case. So yeah, 7 absolute solid removal spells. Yeah, you could go down in removal spells if you spend a lot of time using your equipment to unattach from Captain America to remove creatures. Yeah, if that's what you're doing a lot in this deck, consider maybe going a little bit lighter on these removal spells and maybe adding more protection spells. You know, look at your flawless maneuvers, your blacksmith skills, stuff like that. Let's quickly jump into the enchantments before we tackle all of the artifacts. So we've got Sigarda's Aid, instant speed, also equipped for free. Training Grounds reduces Captain America's throw cost down to 1, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got Fighter Class. Yeah, this is a tutor at the first level. We level it up to level 2, reduces the equip cost. Absolutely fantastic. And then we've got Forge Anew. It's recursion, so we can get something back out of our graveyard. Yeah, we can equip at instant speed and pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost. So it does everything that we want to do in this deck. Quickly before we jump on to the next section, I just want to say thank you for making this far in the video. And if you are interested in seeing more content like this, I release content every week. So consider hitting that subscribe button just down there. It takes 2 seconds. If not, hit the like, leave a comment, and yeah, on to the next bit. The artifacts. Let's do this. First off, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and the 3 Talismans. Yeah, that's our ramp in this deck. This is what we need. Obviously, we also have artifacts that help us ramp in terms of equipment. But yeah, we want to make sure we've got all the colours available at all times. Yeah, I was considering running these signets for the longest time in this deck. And that's just because we want to make sure we've got access to all 3 coloured pips consistently in this deck, so we can cast our commander and then we can equip everything that we need. Yeah, we don't want to be too heavy on colourless mana. Anyway, let's get into the equipment. Basilisk Collar. This gives our creatures Death Touch and Lifelink, or more specifically the equipped creature Death Touch and Lifelink. If this is on Captain America and then you throw your equipment around, he is the source of the damage. It literally says on the card, he deals damage equal to the equipment's mana value divided as you choose. Yeah, so if he has Death Touch, boom, that's instant removal for so many creatures on the battlefield. Just remember, if you unequip this equipment to throw it for that 1 damage, the equipped creature no longer has Death Touch. Yeah, just something really simple, but I feel like it could be easily overmissed when you're in the throes of battle. Yeah, Infiltration Lens, this is just card draw. If they block you, you're going to gain an advantage by drawing some cards. Lava Spur Boost is just haste and ward, so it's protection. Tarian Soul Cleaver, I think, is an absolute auto include in this deck. Yeah, when you destroy creatures, which you're going to do by throwing equipment, this gets +1/+1 to the equipped creature, not onto the actual equipment like a Jite does. These give the +1/+1 counters to the actual creature, so even if this equipment is removed, you've still got the bonus on the creature. And we need to get Captain America to that magical 7 damage. Well, we don't need to, but it would just be really nice to, because that turns him into a 3-hit kill. Yeah, 7 is the sweet spot for commander damage. Yeah, Arcane Signet we've mentioned. Lightning Greaves, yeah, haste, shroud, protection. Just be careful with Lightning Greaves as well, because obviously Shroud can't be the target of spells or abilities, and if the captain is your only creature on the battlefield and you've got nothing to move the Greaves after, then be able to re-equip things, because to equip you need to target. Just be careful with that. Mask of Memory, when it deals combat damage, you're going to draw a card. If you do discard a card, absolutely fantastic. Draw 2, sorry. Swiftfoot Boots, when scale protection. Sword of the Animist, yeah, it's going to search for your basic land, so you can find whatever basic land you need to colour fix. Talismans we've spoke about. Key to the Vault, yeah, this is fantastic blue equipment. He has 4 power by default, so when you deal combat damage, you're going to exile the top 4, and you may cast one of those without paying its mana cost. That's absolutely fantastic. Once you get stronger, you can churn through your deck more and more. Yeah, Trailblazer's Boots, essentially giving your commander unblockable, because everybody's running non-basics these days. Winged Boots, flying and ward 4, yeah, evasion and protection. Champion's Helm, buffs up your commander, also gives it hexproof. Fire Shrieker, double strike, yeah. Remember all of these effects that I've just spoke about, such as Mask of Memory. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards, discard a card. Once you've got Fire Shrieker on there and you're dealing double strike, yeah, first strike damage hits, deals combat damage, draw 2, discard 1. Then regular damage, draw 2, discard 1, yeah. Just amplifies these effects of all the equipment that we've got. Rockstar Warhammer +3, like I said, gets us to that magic 7 power. Yeah, also Trample and Lifelink, which is very, very nice. Mithril Coat, yeah, this comes in, it equips straight away, which is lovely. Also indestructible. Nettle Fist is actually a solid card in this deck. It's got living weapon, so it creates its own body as it enters. Also, it gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment that you control. This is quite easily going to be 5/6 in this deck with the amount of enchantments and artifacts that we've got. Yeah, we've got Robe of the Archmage. Whenever a creature deals combat damage, it's going to draw that many cards. Our commander is 4 power by default. We hit once, draw 4 cards. Yep, Chef's Kiss. Sword of Vengeance, keyword soup, first strike vigilance, trample haste, also +2/+0, love it. Godo's Maul, it's going to give it that magical +3/+3 and also trample, which gets us to that 7 damage marker which I was talking about earlier. Reaver Cleaver deals damage, creates treasures, allows us to equip, unequip, to throw our equipment all around the battlefield to remove any creatures or just deal damage straight to our opponent's face. Hammer of Nazan gives us indestructible, also equip at instant speed when another equipment enters. What else we've got? We've got Molnir for tapping things down and stunning them, allowing us to swing through to be able to get through because Captain doesn't have any evasion by default. Argentum armor. This is where we're starting to get into the realms of like the big equipment to be able to deal big damage to big things. Yeah. So Argentum armor is 6 mana. Yeah, and it also gives +6 for 6. And when equipped creature attacks, destroy target permanent. So now we can attack, destroy a target permanent. Yeah, and then we can throw it for 3 mana and destroy a creature as well. Absolutely fantastic. Embercleave. What's not to love about this card? Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. Yeah, it comes in as flash speed, costs 1 less for each attacking equipment. Obviously, if we're only attacking with our commander, it's only being reduced by 1, but still absolute solid card. Cauldron Complete. Once again, just all the keywords that we want, plus the solid, +5/+5. And once again, it's living weapon, so it comes in on a germ. Love it. And then the card that nobody's surprised about, Excalibur, Sword of Eden. Yeah, this comes in. If you start throwing this around the battlefield, it's 12 mana. Obviously, you never pay 12 mana to cast this card because it costs X less, where X is the mana value of historic permanents you control. Artifacts are historic. Yeah, so this is quite easy to be able to get onto the battlefield, equip, give your creature +10, deal combat damage, and then throw it around and deal 12 damage to somebody's face. You can quite easily eliminate somebody in 1 or 2 combats. So regarding lands, I'm running 36. Special one here is the Axe Guard Armory, which is a tutor effect. But other than that, I'm running all the Pain lands, the Pathway lands, the Check lands. What else have we got in here? We've got Rogue's Passage, Reliquary Tower, Command Tower, obviously. We Sea of Clouds and Training Center, all those ones, the Battle Bond lands. You can take those out if you want, and that'll save you a bunch of money. I mentioned the Pain lands, and oh yes, we've got the Slow lands as well. So yeah, just absolute solid mana base. I've got Temple of the False Gods in here just because we are using a lot of colourless mana, and here we are with the mana curve, my favourite bit of every deck apparently. Yeah, so we are running. Ignore this that it says it's 12 mana. It's not 12 mana. You're probably going to be casting this for free. So the highest cost card in our deck is 7 with Cauldron Complete. Followed by that is Embercleave, Argentum Armor, Then we've got our board wipes at the 5 mana mark, and then once again, more value creatures and also decent equipment at the 4 mana mark. After that, the bread and butter of our deck is 3 mana or less. As you look here, 2.81 without lands for the average mana value within our deck. Yeah, we've got instant speed that we can cast on all of our main turns. Yeah, turns 1 through to 5. After that point, we're only going to be able to do the big things and then cast any of the low cost removal as of when we need to. Yeah, the colour split on our deck, 36, 14, 14. As you look at the mana of it, can quite easily cast all of this, no problems. So yeah, solid deck, nothing to worry about. Go have fun. Here are a bunch of cards I was considering for the deck and still am to a certain degree. So Mother of Runes is just a fantastic protection spell, also a chump blocker if you need it in a dire situation. And here we have Cadet Everclaw Familiar. Whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. And I was going along the lines of thinking of like, oh, deal that damage to each opponent, plus throw my equipment around all 3 opponents. I can start dealing out some massive damage to everybody's face every turn. This is fantastic. Play that with Rayav, Master Smith, Halvar, God of Battle. Equip something like Brass Knuckles, so we're giving things double strike. Like, you can really do some big damage if you went down this route. But I was a bit concerned. I was like, is this going a bit oppressive? I'm trying to keep these Marvel decks quite casual. So yeah, I didn't go down that route, but this is a strong route if you want to take it, and cut some of the cards out. Relic Seeker is just a fantastic creature-based tutor, so you can go to whatever equipment you need. If you want an extra creature, an extra body, because you don't like having minimal creatures like her in this deck, then fantastic include. Once again, Sun Titan as well gets a permanent back with 3 mana or less, so you can get back your Relic Seeker or your low-costed creatures or any of your equipment that you need. And lastly, Curiosity. So Curiosity is known, I guess, for being a broken card with Niv Mizzet. But yeah, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. And I was thinking, put this on your commander, on Captain America. He is the source of the damage when you throw an equipment, so you would draw 3 cards if you pinged your equipment around each opponent. So yeah, I thought this could be like a fair way of playing Curiosity, but yeah, in the end I decided to cut it. But it is a solid piece of card draw. But it is also one of those cards that when people see it, then they just assume combo and you might become a target for it. So yeah, run it if you want to run it. But yeah, there we go. Some solid considering cards. I still might put Kedis and Rayav and Halvar in my version of this deck though. Oh, tough choices. I am so torn. Like, solid cards. Just wanted to take a second to show some opening hands in this deck. Yeah, make sure you can see what you're going to be getting into should you build something along these lines. The land count versus artifacts versus creatures, everything like that, what you get into. Remember, the goal of this deck is to be able to cast our commander and then put equipment on him to be able to go to town and do the work. Yeah, we don't need to be casting lots of creatures other than our commander. Our creatures are there literally as support creatures for the rest of the deck. So yeah, just make sure you've got a solid mana base, so you've got access to all available lands at all points. And yeah, you'll find yourself having an absolutely fantastic time, doing what you need to do, getting out there, smashing base, killing your opponents, and throwing equipment around. What's not to love? And there we have it. That is Captain America, the First Avenger, another one of the Marvel commanders from the latest Secret Lair. This is absolutely fantastic deck. I think it's going to be very interesting to pilot this deck because it seems quite straightforward as a Voltron commander, but I think it's going to be very interesting in terms of when to go face, when to kill creatures. A bit like when you're playing mono red, if you ever played mono red in 1v1, like when do you spend your resources removing your opponent's creatures to free up your pathway for your main creatures to get through, or when do you just go ham and just like blast everybody to the face. Yeah, just remember though, if you do eliminate somebody quite quickly in this deck, your other two opponents are probably going to turn on you quite quickly. So yeah, have your protection spells ready at that point and be able to get around what they might start throwing at you. Anyway, all in all, fantastic deck. I've enjoyed building this one. If you made it this far in the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, dropping a comment, maybe hitting the like button if you've enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.